Chloe's smirk cut deep. "How about a date tonight, Logan? Don't be jealous." Her words landed like a betrayal in our Denver kitchen, shattering our morning routine. I'd ignored the signs for months: late nights, guarded texts, that new perfume. But this time, her audacity woke me up. By nightfall, I'd unravel her lies in a way she'd never see coming, turning her game into a lesson she'd never forget. Logan Carter, a 32-year-old mechanic, leaned over the kitchen counter in his Denver home, the aroma of fresh coffee filling the air. It was a Tuesday morning, the kind where routine felt like a warm handshake between him and his wife, Chloe, after 3 years of marriage. Their daily coffee ritual was sacred, a moment to sync before Logan headed to his auto shop and Chloe to her bank teller job. Today, though, something felt off. Chloe sat across from him, her phone buzzing more than usual, her fingers tapping out quick replies. Logan, ever the optimist, wanted to brighten her day. He slid a sleek new coffee maker across the counter, a surprise he'd saved up for. "Thought this might make mornings even better," he said with a grin, hoping to see her light up. Chloe glanced up, her smile brief but distracted. "That's sweet, Logan. Thanks." Her tone was warm enough, but her eyes darted back to her phone, fingers flying across the screen. Logan's gut twitched. Her phone had become a fortress lately, always angled away from him. He pushed the thought aside, chalking it up to work stress. After all, Chloe had been pulling extra shifts at the bank, or so she said. As Logan sipped his coffee, Chloe set her phone down, her movements deliberate, like she was staging a performance. She leaned forward, her voice casual, but edged with something sharper. "So, I've got plans tonight. A date, actually." She paused, watching him, a smirk curling her lips. "Don't be jealous, okay?" Logan froze, his mug halfway to his mouth. The word date hit like a misfired engine, jarring and wrong. He set the mug down slowly, keeping his face neutral. "A date," he repeated, his voice steady despite the pulse hammering in his chest. "Yeah," Chloe said, her smirk widening, like she was testing him. "Just dinner, maybe a movie. Nothing serious. Catching up with someone." Her fingers traced the rim of her mug, a nervous tick Logan hadn't noticed before. "Someone," Logan echoed, leaning back in his chair. His mind raced, sifting through months of small, ignored clues. Chloe's late-night work texts, the faint whiff of unfamiliar cologne on her jacket, her sudden obsession with spin classes at a gym downtown. She'd mentioned a trainer named Chris a while back, always in passing, always with a laugh. Logan had thought nothing of it, until now. "Who's this someone?" he asked, keeping his tone light, like he was asking about the weather. Chloe shrugged, her eyes flicking to her phone again. "Just a friend from the gym. No big deal." She stood, grabbing her bag, her movements too quick, too practiced. "I've got to get to work. We'll talk later, okay?" Logan nodded, watching her head for the door. "Have a good day," he called, his voice calm, but his mind was anything but. As the front door clicked shut, he sat there, the coffee maker humming softly beside him. The gift, meant to spark joy, now felt like a relic of a trust he wasn't sure he still had. He pulled out his phone, hesitating before opening the location-sharing app they'd set up for safety during Chloe's late shifts. Her dot blinked at the bank, as expected, but something about her flippant date comment gnawed at him. Logan wasn't the type to snoop, but the pieces weren't adding up. He thought back to the past few weeks, Chloe's excuses for staying late, her guarded phone, the way she'd started locking her screen even when stepping away for a moment. By midday, Logan was under a Chevy at his shop, wrench in hand, but his focus was elsewhere. Chloe's words looped in his head. "Don't be jealous." The audacity of it stung, but it also lit a spark. He wasn't going to confront her. Not yet. Logan was methodical, a problem solver. If Chloe was playing a game, he'd play smarter. That afternoon, Chloe texted, "Girls' night tonight. Don't wait up." Logan stared at the message, the lie glaringly obvious now. He replied with a simple "have fun," then checked her location again. The dot had moved, not to a bar with her friends, but to a downtown hotel. His jaw tightened. He grabbed his keys, telling his coworker Mike he'd be back in an hour. At the hotel, Logan slipped into the dimly lit bar, keeping his cap low. There was Chloe, tucked into a corner booth, laughing with a tall, athletic guy. Chris, no doubt. Their body language screamed intimacy. Her hand brushing his, her laugh too bright, too practiced. Logan's chest tightened, but he stayed calm, snapping a discreet photo of a napkin on their table, Chris's handwriting scrawled across it. Same time, same place. Logan didn't storm over. He didn't make a scene. Instead, he slipped out, the photo burning a hole in his phone. Back at the shop, he sat in his truck, replaying Chloe's smirk, her casual betrayal. He wasn't just hurt, he was awake. Whatever Chloe was hiding, he'd find out. And when he did, he'd make sure she faced the truth. No games, no lies. Logan's heart pounded as he clutched the photo of Chloe's napkin, scrawled with same time, same place. Her betrayal was no longer a hunch. It was real, staring him in the face at a Denver hotel bar. Chloe thought she could play him, but Logan wasn't the type to break. Tonight, he'd start unraveling her lies, piece by calculated piece, setting the stage for a reckoning she'd never see coming. Logan sat in his truck outside his auto shop, the engine still ticking as it cooled. The photo on his phone burned brighter than the Denver sunset. A napkin from the hotel bar, Chris's bold handwriting scrawled across it. Same time, same place. The image was a punch to the gut, but it also sharpened his resolve. Chloe's casual date comment that morning wasn't a slip. It was a challenge, and Logan wasn't about to let it slide. He drove home, the city blurring past as his mind pieced together the past few months. Chloe's late-night bank meetings that never showed up on her work calendar. Her sudden interest in fitness, always tied to sessions with Chris, the trainer she mentioned with a laugh that felt too rehearsed. The way her phone was now a vault, locked even when she stepped away for a minute. Logan had trusted her, built a life with her, but the signs were screaming now. Back at their suburban home, Logan checked the location-sharing app again. Chloe's was still at the downtown hotel, unmoving. It was 9:30 p.m., and her girls' night was clearly something else. He fought the urge to call her, to demand answers. Instead, he opened her work calendar on their shared laptop, another safety measure from when she worked late shifts. There was a blocked-off slot for tonight, labeled personal appointment, not girls' night. Logan screenshotted it, his hands steady despite the anger simmering beneath. He scrolled through their text history next. Chloe's messages from the past month were vague. Working late, don't wait up. Helping Sarah with something. Sarah, her co-worker, hadn't been mentioned in weeks. Logan's jaw clenched as he spotted a pattern. Texts sent at odd hours, always followed by Chloe coming home smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't his. He hadn't questioned it before, too focused on saving for a house, too trusting. Now, it felt like he'd been blind. Logan drove back to the hotel, parking a few rows from Chloe's car. The lot was quiet, the city's pulse muffled by the evening chill. He slipped into the hotel's bar again, keeping his cap low. Chloe and Chris were still there, tucked in the same corner booth. Her laugh carried across the room, sharp and performative, her hand resting on Chris's arm a second too long. Logan's chest tightened, but he stayed focused. He zoomed in on a napkin again, still on their table, and snapped another photo, this time catching Chloe's wine glass beside it, her lipstick smudged on the rim. Instead of confronting them, Logan moved to the hotel's business center, a small room with a printer and a flickering light. He printed 2 items, the napkin photo and the calendar screenshot. His hands moved with the precision of a mechanic assembling an engine. No rush, no mistakes. He slipped the prints into a hotel envelope, scrawling for your consideration on the front. Then he took the elevator to the 7th floor, where he'd seen Chloe and Chris head earlier, their arms brushing as they stepped inside. Room 712 was at the end of the hall. Logan paused, listening. Muffled laughter seeped through the door, Chloe's voice mixing with Chris's deeper tone. His stomach churned, but he pushed it down. He slid the envelope under the door, the paper scraping softly against the carpet. The laughter stopped abruptly, replaced by hurried whispers. Logan didn't wait. He took the stairs 2 at a time and was back in his truck before anyone could spot him. At home, Logan sat on the couch, the TV off, the house too quiet. Midnight came, and Chloe slipped through the front door, her steps careful, like she was avoiding a creaky floorboard. "Hey," she said, startled to see Logan awake. Girls' night was fun. New place downtown. Her voice was too bright, her eyes avoiding his. Logan noticed a faint smudge of lipstick on her neck, red, not her usual shade. "Glad you had fun," Logan said, his tone even, almost friendly. "Where'd you go again?" "Chloe hesitated. Here, Zeit. Just a bar on Colfax. You wouldn't know it." She moved toward the stairs, But Logan's next words stopped her. Colfax, huh? Not the hotel downtown? Her shoulders stiffened, but she didn't turn around. What are you talking about? She said, her voice tight. Just curious, Logan said, leaning back. You smelled different tonight. New perfume? Chloe spun, her eyes flashing with something. Panic, maybe guilt. You're being weird, Logan. I am tired. Can we not do this? She headed upstairs, her steps faster now, leaving the question hanging. Logan stayed on the couch, the envelope's contents etched in his mind. He didn't need to see her face to know she'd found it. The silence from upstairs was louder than any argument. Tomorrow, he'd see how she played this. For now, he'd let her sweat, knowing her lies were starting to crack. The envelope under room 712's door silenced Chloe's laughter, but the real storm hit when she walked in at midnight, lipstick smudged on her neck. Logan's calm question about her girl's night rattled her, and now her phone buzzed with frantic texts from CT. In their Denver home, the truth was closing in. Logan wasn't playing her game. He was rewriting the rules, and Chloe was about to face a reckoning she couldn't dodge. Logan woke to the sound of Chloe's phone buzzing on the kitchen counter, relentless as a car alarm. It was 6:45 a.m., the Denver sky still dim outside. He'd barely slept, the image of that hotel napkin. Same time, same place, looping in his mind. Last night, Chloe had slipped in after midnight, her lie about a girl's night, crumbling under Logan's casual probe. The faint lipstick smudge on her neck, red and unfamiliar, had sealed it. Now, her phone lit up with texts from CT. Chris, no doubt. Logan didn't touch it, but the snippets he glimpsed. What was that envelope? And we need to talk. Told him the envelope he'd slid under room 712 had hit its mark. Chloe shuffled downstairs, her steps hesitant. She grabbed her phone, her fingers trembling as she scrolled through the messages. Logan sat at the counter, sipping coffee, his expression neutral. Morning, he said, his voice steady. Busy night. Chloe's eyes flicked up, wary. Just the usual, she said, her tone too bright, like she was auditioning for innocence. Work's been crazy, and then the girl's night ran late. She tucked her phone into her pocket, avoiding his gaze. Logan set his mug down, the clink loud in the quiet kitchen. Right? Colfax bar, you said? He leaned forward, his eyes locked on hers. Funny, I checked your location. You were at the downtown hotel. With Chris. Chloe froze, her hand tightening around her phone. You're tracking me now? She snapped, her voice rising. That's invasive, Logan. I told you it was just friends. Friends, Logan repeated, his tone flat. He pulled out his phone and opened a photo of a napkin, sliding it across the counter. Friends who leave notes like, same time, same place. Friends who meet in hotel rooms. Chloe's breath caught. She stared at the photo, her face paling. Where did you get that? She whispered, her voice cracking. Does it matter? Logan said, standing. I saw you at the hotel, Chloe. You and Chris, cozy in the bar, heading to room 712. I slid that napkin and your personal appointment calendar under the door. Sound familiar? Chloe's mouth opened, then closed, like she was scrambling for a script that didn't exist. You followed me? She said, her voice climbing. That's not okay, Logan. You're acting paranoid. Paranoid, Logan said, his voice low but sharp. You told me you had a date, Chloe. You told me not to be jealous. I'm not paranoid. I'm awake. He stepped closer, not threatening but firm. Explain the lipstick on your neck last night. Explain why Chris is blowing up your phone right now. Her hand flew to her neck, as if she could erase the evidence. Her phone buzzed again, and she silenced it, her fingers fumbling. It's not what you think, she said, her words rushing out. Chris is just a friend from the gym. We were catching up. You've been so distant, Logan, always at the shop. I needed someone to talk to. Logan's laugh was short, humorless. Talk? In a hotel room? Save it, Chloe. He pulled up the calendar screenshot, showing her personal appointment slot. This wasn't a one-time thing. You've been lying for weeks, maybe months. Chloe's eyes darted to the screen, then away. You're twisting this, she said, her voice shaking but defiant. I didn't cheat. It was just dinner, maybe a drink. You're blowing this out of proportion. Logan leaned back, crossing his arms. Then why's Chris texting you about an envelope? Why'd your laughter stop when I slid it under the door? He paused, letting the silence press on her. You're not just lying to me. You're lying to yourself. Chloe's phone rang, CT, flashing on the screen. She declined it instantly, but it rang again. Her hand shook as she silenced it a second time. "Logan, please," she said, her voice softer now, almost pleading. "It wasn't supposed to go this far. Chris was just there. He listened. I made a mistake, but it's not what you think." "A mistake," Logan said, his voice steady but cold. "A mistake is forgetting to pay a bill. This is you choosing to betray me, then telling me not to care." He stepped toward the counter, picking up his keys. "I'm not doing this dance, Chloe. You need to stay with your sister for a while. Pack a bag." Chloe's eyes widened, panic flashing across her face. "You're kicking me out? Over this? Logan, we can fix this." "I'm not kicking you out," Logan said, his tone firm. "I'm giving us space to figure out what's left of this marriage. You made your choice last night. Now I'm making mine." He walked to the door, pausing. "I'll be at the shop. Let me know when you're gone." Chloe called after him. "Logan, wait. We need to talk." But he was already out the door, the engine of his truck roaring to life. At the shop, Logan buried himself in work, rebuilding a carburetor with the same precision he'd used to expose Chloe's lies. His phone buzzed. "Diane, Chloe's mother, texting. Chloe's a mess. Says you're accusing her of cheating. What's going on?" Logan didn't reply yet. He'd show Diane the evidence later. Let the truth speak for itself. For now, he focused on the hum of the shop, the clank of tools grounding him. Chloe's lies were unraveling, and he wasn't just reacting. He was in control, ready to face whatever came next. Chloe's lies crumbled under Logan's evidence, her denials no match for the truth in his hands. Now, with her bags packed and their Denver home silent, Logan faces the fallout of her betrayal. As Chloe scrambles to rewrite the narrative, her mother, Diane, steps in, demanding answers. Logan's done playing her game. He's carving a new path, but one final twist will test his resolve before he can move forward. Logan torqued a bolt on a pickup's engine, the clatter of his Denver auto shop a steady rhythm against the chaos in his mind. It was the afternoon after he'd confronted Chloe, her betrayal laid bare by the napkin photo. Same time, same place, and her personal appointment calendar. He'd asked her to stay with her sister, and the house now sat empty, a quiet that felt both freeing and heavy. His phone buzzed with a text from Diane, Chloe's mother. "Logan, we need to talk. Chloe's at my place. Says you're blowing this out of proportion. Can I stop by?" Logan wiped grease from his hands, his jaw tightening. He'd expected Chloe to spin a story, and Diane, ever protective, would want the truth. He replied, "At the shop. Come by 3 p.m." Diane stood in the shop's doorway, her posture stiff, eyes searching. "Logan, what's this about?" she asked, her voice sharp but unsteady. "Chloe's crying. Says you threw her out over a gym friend. She's calling you paranoid." Logan set his tools down, keeping his voice calm. "It's not paranoia, Diane." He opened his phone, showing her the evidence. The napkin with Chris's handwriting, the calendar screenshot marking Chloe's hotel night. "She told me she had a date, told me not to be jealous. I saw her with Chris at the hotel, laughing, heading to room 712. When she came home, there was lipstick on her neck, red, not hers." Diane studied the screen, her expression shifting from defensive to shaken. She handed the phone back, her voice quieter. "She said it was just dinner, that you're stalking her, checking her things." "Stalking?" Logan said, his tone firm but even. "I check her location because her stories didn't add up. Late nights, vague texts, cologne that wasn't mine. She announced a date to my face, Diane. I'm not the one hiding things." Diane sank onto a stool by the workbench, her hands clasped tight. "She's been off lately, always glued to her phone. I thought it was just work." She paused, shaking her head. "I didn't think she'd go this far." "I didn't either," Logan said, leaning against the counter. "I asked her to stay with her sister to give us space, not to hurt her. I can't live with lies." Diane nodded, her eyes distant. "I'll talk to her. She needs to own this." She stood, her voice softer. "I am sorry, Logan. You're a good man." After she left, Logan dove back into work, the grind of repairs keeping him grounded. Chloe's betrayal hurt, but her attempt to paint him as the problem, calling him paranoid, twisting the truth, stung worse. That morning, he'd called a locksmith to change the house locks, not out of spite, but to set a boundary. He'd also left a note on the door. "Contact my lawyer if needed. Clear, not cruel." Later, his phone buzzed with a text from Chloe. "Logan, I messed up. Chris was nothing. Can we talk?" He didn't respond. Silence was a shield, letting her face the consequences of her choices. His coworker Mike noticed his mood. "You good, man?" he asked, tossing Logan a water bottle. "Getting there," Logan said, managing a small grin. "Just navigating some rough roads." Mike nodded. "You're solid. You'll figure it out." That night, Logan sat in his truck outside the house, the quiet street a stark contrast to the storm inside him. Diane called again. "I talked to Chloe," she said, her voice strained. She admitted to seeing Chris for weeks, says it was just talking, not physical. But Chris ghosted her when she told him about your envelope. She's with her sister now, falling apart. Logan exhaled, his grip tight on the steering wheel. "Talking or not, she chose to lie, Diane. She chose him over our marriage." "I know," Diane said. "She's seeing it now, but it's too late, isn't it?" "For now, yeah," Logan said. "I need space to figure out what's next." He hung up, the weight of her words settling in. Chris had bailed the moment things got messy, leaving Chloe to face the wreckage alone. Logan felt a flicker of grim satisfaction, not joy, but clarity. He'd loved Chloe, poured 3 years into their life together, but trust wasn't a thing you could rebuild overnight. The next day, Logan met with Dr. Ellis, a counselor he'd found to help sort through the mess. "Chloe's been gaslighting you," Dr. Ellis said, leaning forward, "making you doubt your instincts to protect her secrets. That's not a mistake, it's a pattern." Logan nodded, the words cutting through the fog. He wasn't just betrayed, he'd been manipulated. But he wasn't helpless. He'd started taking steps, new locks, a new phone number soon, to reclaim his life. Each move felt like tightening a loose bolt, steadying the foundation Chloe had shaken. As he left the session, his phone buzzed again. Chloe, texting, "I'm sorry, Logan. I'll cut Chris off. Can we try again?" Logan stared at the message, then locked his phone. He wasn't ready to answer. Not yet. The truth had one more twist to reveal, and he'd face it on his terms, not hers. Chloe's lies shattered, her affair exposed by Logan's calculated evidence. Now, with new locks on their Denver home and silence as a shield, Logan rebuilds his life. As Chloe grapples with the wreckage, a final confrontation looms. Logan's not seeking revenge. He's seeking truth, and one last twist will cement the lesson that trust, once broken, can't be bargained back. Logan leaned over a Dodge's engine in his Denver auto shop, the steady clank of tools grounding him. 2 weeks had passed since he'd shown Chloe's mother, Diane, the napkin photo and calendar screenshot, exposing Chloe's betrayal with Chris. The house was his now, the locks changed, his new phone number a clean break from her desperate texts. Chloe was staying with her sister, her affair with Chris over. He'd ghosted her the moment Logan's envelope slid under their hotel room door. The validation was cold comfort, but it fueled Logan's resolve to move forward. His phone buzzed with a call from Diane. "Logan, Chloe's coming to the shop. She's upset, says she needs to talk. I try to stop her, but she's on her way." Logan exhaled, wiping his hands on a rag. "Thanks for the heads up," he said, his voice steady. He'd expected this. Chloe wasn't one to let go quietly. He told Mike, his co-worker, to keep things running, then stepped outside, bracing for the storm. Chloe pulled into the shop's lot, her car screeching to a stop. She marched toward Logan, eyes red, hair loose from a messy bun. "You changed the locks?" she demanded, her voice sharp. "You left a note, like I'm some stranger?" "Logan, this is our home." Logan crossed his arms, his stance calm but unyielding. "It was our home, Chloe, until you chose Chris, lied to my face, and told me not to be jealous." Her hands clenched into fists. "I said I'm sorry. Chris was a mistake, okay? He's gone. I want to fix this, us." Logan shook his head. "You don't fix trust by saying sorry. You broke it, Chloe. Weeks of lies, hotel rooms, secret texts. You tried to make me think I was crazy for noticing." Chloe's voice cracked. "I was lonely, Logan. You're always here, working late, never talking about anything real." Chris listened. "It wasn't supposed to happen." "Listen," Logan said, his tone sharp but controlled. "In room 712? With lipstick on your neck? Don't rewrite this, Chloe. You chose to betray me." She stepped closer, her eyes pleading. "I love you. We can go to therapy, start over. Please." Logan pulled his wedding ring from his pocket, setting it on the workbench with a soft click. "Love's not enough without respect. I'm done with games." Chloe stared at the ring, her breath hitching. "So that's it? You're giving up?" "No," Logan said, meeting her gaze. I'm choosing me. You made your choice that morning you bragged about your date. I'm making mine now. She reached for the ring, but Logan shook his head. Keep it. I don't need it anymore. Chloe's shoulders slumped, and she turned away, her steps heavy as she returned to her car. Logan watched her drive off, feeling not triumph, but clarity, a weight lifting. Over the next month, Logan leaned into his new routine. He saw Dr. Ellis weekly, unpacking how Chloe's gaslighting had made him doubt his instincts. You're reclaiming your reality, Dr. Ellis said. That's strength. The words stuck with Logan, guiding him as he rebuilt. He changed his phone number, finalized divorce papers through a lawyer, and focused on the shop, where business was picking up. One afternoon, while grabbing coffee at a shop 2 blocks away, Logan struck up a conversation with Emily, the barista. Her easy laugh and honest questions felt like a breath of fresh air. They started meeting for coffee, then dinners, taking things slow. Emily knew about Chloe, the divorce, the betrayal. I just want someone who's real, she'd said, her words simple but grounding. Logan felt a spark he hadn't known in years. Diane called one evening with an update. Chloe moved to Boulder, she said. Got a new job at a bank. She's trying to figure things out, but she's struggling. Chris was never serious. Dumped her when it got complicated. Logan nodded, unsurprised. I hope she finds her way, he said. But I'm done being part of her story. Fair enough, Diane said. You're a good man, Logan. Keep taking care of yourself. He hung up, the Denver skyline glowing outside his shop. Sometimes he'd see Chloe's car slow near the shop, like she was thinking of stopping, but she never did. Logan didn't chase her. Silence was his answer, louder than any argument. With Emily, things grew steadily. She'd text about her day, no secrets, no guarded phone. They'd laugh over small things, burnt toast, a bad movie, building something honest. Logan told her about Chloe, not hiding the hurt, but not dwelling on it. You deserve someone who chooses you every day, Emily said one night, her hand squeezing his. Logan smiled, the truth settling in. He'd lost a marriage, but gained something stronger, a commitment to himself. Trust and respect weren't negotiable, and he was done settling for less.